Hello guys, welcome back to Garage Football. We've just watched Man United v West Ham in the FA Cup fifth round. We've finished 1-0 to Man United after extra time. Certainly wasn't a classic, no magic of the FA Cup tonight, lads, was there?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was no magic. Just like this video, the way this video started, there's not been a lot of magic to celebrate.
No. Lots of small talking points, but look, it wasn't a good, entertaining game for the neutral. It was won by a moment of magic from Marcus Rashford to assist McTominay, who is still inferior to Declan Rice, no matter what Twitter personalities that only play FIFA may say. And yeah, I mean, it was some, quite frankly, bizarre substitutions from Moyes. We improved in the second half, but it wasn't enough, and we were handicapped up front. What can I say? This is what happens when you don't invest. Thank you, Golden Sullivan.
Yeah, how many videos have we said that in a row? Just repeat what we've said the last 3 or 4 videos, isn't it? Yeah, it wasn't, as I say, it wasn't a classic, was it, lads? Charles, what were your thoughts overall?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Dennis. I think there was some poor. It was a poorly managed game by Moyes. It's not too often we've said that this season, but today was definitely an example of him mismanaging players, especially Odubeku, the youngster. And you know, I think the performance was pretty good considering the team he put out. I thought our attack looked pretty weak. Our defence and midfield, obviously, pretty much the same, but. Yeah, it was a frustrating game, but kind of I'm proud of the boys for the way they've gone about it. A lot of hard work, a lot of effort. They've been playing on a really tough schedule in the last few weeks, and yeah, I give them credit for putting in the effort, but it just wasn't enough, especially when United started bringing on the real big talented boys.
Well, I was on the wall when that happened, lads. Things didn't go off to a great start. For us after a quarter of an hour, our talisman at the back, Angelo Bono, he went off, didn't he, after an amazing block, but when Martial was put through, and unfortunately Martial, he's followed through, he caught Bono, he had to go off, so that was a sort of a sign of things to come.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think I tweeted at the time that he was our entire defence, and he still is. I mean, leadership at the back is insane. It really showed, although I think Diop gave a good account of himself before he went off with a concussion.
Yeah.
He's done, and we played, I think, Kufal at centre back towards the end, but now we've got a bit of a conundrum, especially if Diop is out. Diop and Bono are out Monday. Once again, we're thin in a very key position. We loaned out Cardoso and Reed. I wouldn't mind if he's fit. I think we would have needed Reed's leadership right now. If he's fit and up to speed is another question. But no doubt, without a clear leader at the back, I mean, Dawson, again, no disrespect, he is our most experienced fit centre back now. But I'd rather him focus on his own game than needing to marshal somebody else next to him.
Yeah, thoughts, Charles?
Yeah, I mean, Dawson's probably been our most consistently, best performing player recently, and just very solid, and he's made such a good account of himself in the short time he's been with us. But yeah, like Dennis says, I mean, this is what happens. Thankfully, centre back is a position where we've got relatively okay. Squad depth, but then again, we've lost 2 tonight, and Ogbonna obviously is a massive loss. So yeah, it'll be. I mean, we've also lost potentially Antonio, Yarmolenko, other players. I mean, Souček looked absolutely shot tonight. I know he wasn't injured, but he looked exhausted, poor fella. So yeah, who knows how this could affect us for the rest of the season?
It's what happens when you asset strip. Again, I'm just going to keep saying, we need to drive that point home. Anybody watching that doesn't understand why West Ham fans are angry, it's because our team has been asset stripped. Simple as. There was no options. David Moyes may have made some bizarre substitutions. You can't fault that, but it's because he's obviously not quite happy with his options, no matter what he says in press conferences.
Well, yeah.
You're not going to say on your team's meeting in the morning, "Oh, I'm not happy about stuff." So that's like David Moyes is not going to say to the public and to the press, "Oh, I'm not happy with this," because he'd probably be fired. You know, he's obviously not happy with the squad he's got. He's still making poor decisions, and I'm not going to defend him on tonight. He did get it wrong, but if he had the players he was happy with, I guarantee you we wouldn't be in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come on to a few of the subs later. That's probably the only talking points of the game tonight, apart from the goal. So that first half in particular was from both sides really. But, West Ham, defended resolutely, but often nothing going forward. And even Man United only had that chance by Martial. I mentioned Greenwood had a shot really well blocked by Cresswell, and then a really good save by Lucas Fabianski from
fantastic save.
Fantastic save, wasn't it, from a Lindelof header? It looked like in real time, he just headed it against the post, but in the slow-mo replay, you could see a deflection off Dawson, and then Fabianski actually tipped it onto the post, and that was a brilliant save.
Yeah, great save.
And that was kind of it for the first 45. And no wonder that Shearer, Ryan Lineker barely spoke about anything. They showed the highlights of Burnley and Bournemouth game instead of talking about the first 45 tonight. Second half, lads, I thought was a little bit better from both sides. West Ham, we had a little bit of more of the ball. I think probably one of our better moments was when we had a counter attack. We were 3-on-2, but 4-0. Not a great pass, was it, to Rice, and that was kind of it. Apart from Dawson going close in the last minute.
Yeah, I think it was I think the second half was certainly a lot better, but again, it was just a very scrappy game, and we had a few chances towards the end. I think Dawson obviously had that header. We thought it was closer than it actually was, but yeah, I mean,
like I said, closer than it actually was.
Oh yeah, I did my typical scream, but yeah, I mean, it just wasn't. It just there weren't really any massively clear-cut chances for us in that game. And to be fair, Man United, although they entered our box quite often, we also kept them quite quiet. So yeah, I think second half we definitely performed better, but yeah, we just didn't really get anything going in terms of the attack. And like you say, I think if Pablo had potentially passed, either A, made a better pass to Rice, or B, even put in Odubeku. I mean, A, Odubeku might still be on the pitch, and B, we might be 1-0 up. But it's tough to say, and yeah, it was pretty even for the first 90 minutes at least.
Yeah, I mean, tonight, lads, and even the Fulham game were those two games a sign of the players sort of hitting the brick wall regarding the lack of squad depth, as we said, and injuries have been starting to pick up now.
Again, there's an aspect of lack of squad depth, there's an aspect of injuries, there's also an aspect of plateau in performance in that, as we learn, again, classic example, as much as we like to go back to this era, Bill, but Pardew, first season, fantastic. Second season, they figured out how to play against us. Games adapting. I think some teams are learning how to play against us. It's no longer a surprise. It's no longer that hard to deal with unless players play out of their skin, i.e. the Villa game where Lingard and Antonio and Soucek played out of their skin. Fulham was a lackluster performance for many reasons. Mostly, I credit Parker's way he set up.
Yeah.
Tonight was just a fact that we were not playing our best team. We had changed the system to a slightly more defensive one, and we were lacking that pacey forward, which we were crying out for. Yarmolenko didn't get a sniff, really, if I'm honest with you. I think Odubeku actually, on the whole, played better, but that's just me. I am not the manager of West Ham United, so yeah.
Charles, your thoughts on what I've said about the squad and if they hit a wall?
Yeah, I definitely think there'll be some drop off. I think now, and for the rest of the season. I said on the watch along that top 7 would be a great season if we can do that now. But unfortunately, there could be quite a severe drop off for the next couple of weeks, just depending on the extent of some of the injuries. But yeah, we've just got to wait and see.
I mean, didn't we say? I mean, we all pretty much murmured agreement. There are 5 players that if we lose one of them, our season is in the gutter, and we've lost potentially 2 of them. Antonio Ogbonna. I mean, the other 3 for me are Rice, Souček, and Fabianski. But we've lost Antonio as a big hit, but also Ogbonna's leadership at the back. We touched on it, and again, it goes back to my favourite point: asset stripping the squad.
Yeah, well, definitely. I think it's definitely starting to cost us now, I'd say, and hopefully doesn't go downhill. It'd be such a shame.
Yeah. Lee Clayton is very quiet. Very quiet, isn't he? He's been quiet for a couple of weeks now.
Too scared, mate.
Yeah. So 0-0 after normal time, extra time. That's sort of what you'd say the one bit of quality in the whole 120 minutes from both sides really. I mean, McTominay with the goal, but unfortunately Rice lost the ball on the edge of their box. Swift counter attack. Obviously, Man United are well known for that. And I thought it was a lovely touch by Rashford to tell McTominay.
It was astonishing. It was breathtaking.
It was a good finish. I mean, hit it too quickly. Fabianski had no chance, and I think that's his 7th goal. McTominay from midfield, so he's doing 4 goals now. But you know what I mean?
He's an average championship player. Let's face it.
Yeah, I was sarcastic when I said about Paul Scholes, but so he's no, he's adding goals to his game, and as I say, it's one bit of quality, lads, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was just all round very, very decent goal. I mean, it was gutting that Declan Rice was maybe half a second away from nicking that ball off the Mountaineer defender, and it was just that split second that cost us really. Because, like you say, quick on the counter attack, lovely touch from Rashford, and McTominay placed it in. So, Rice had a great game as always. It was just obviously that one bit that's cost us. But yeah.
Your thoughts on that goal, Dennis?
It's a wonderful bit of play by Rashford. I said it at that time, and I've said it constantly since. Still maintain that it's what I like to call the classic toe poke. I love doing it when I play football. That McTominay is put off, but what is the tragic sign of the times is my football WhatsApp group. It's currently a Man United fan tribute to McTominay, who did fuck all other than that, really. And now claiming that he's always claimed that McTominay is better than Declan Rice. Declan Rice lives rent free in this person's head. It's kind of funny.
Not a big McTominay fan.
So no, I think McTominay's an okay player, decent player, just not in Rice's league. Simple as that. So that's what I say on the goal, is that it was all about Marcus Rashford. McTominay was the right player at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Many of their footballers would have finished that. Many of them.
No, I don't know about Fred, though. His finishes ain't that great. But any other final thoughts, lads? Anything else you want to?
Just another rant about asset stripping. If you're willing to listen to it, then that's it. Just remember, everyone, asset stripping. Asset stripping.
I'm actually surprised, Dennis, that we haven't heard more from you on Moyes' management of Odubeki, because you were very passionate about under Vochlong, and it was a pretty awful decision.
Again, I'll summarise it a bit more calmer this time, but you give a kid a chance. You say, go out there against your old club, do what you do. He didn't do any. I don't personally think he put a foot wrong. Equally, he didn't do a lot great. You chasing the game, you take him off and bring on a midfielder. What message does that give him? And now you potentially going to have to rely on him, especially if Yarmolenko's injured. And again, I'm be careful how I word this, because as Charles, as you know, I've gotten in trouble for my defence of Haller in the past. But when Seb Haller had a very good game against Fulham and a decent game against Sheffield United and scored, and he was put to the bench as soon as Moyes threw Antonio in, it was clear that Antonio was his boy. I don't trust you. But then Antonio pulls up at half-time and Haller has to play the next 3 games. And guess what? What did Haller have to prove? He knew he'd always be second fiddle. So he went to Ajax. agree that move beforehand. Wouldn't surprise me if that move was agreed not long after that Villa game. Now, I'm not saying that Odubeku is going to be our saviour, nor am I going to say that Odubeku is going to move to a European football club. My point is that David Moyes has a habit of abandoning players that without giving them really a fair chance, you know. And this is a little bit different to the Haller one because Haller was given 3 games and scored 1 goal. Odubeku was given 50 minutes against Manchester United, against Harry Maguire, who cost £80 million, against Lindelof, who I believe cost £40 million, both of which are the best, probably the main centre-back of their national team, whether you like it or not. Maguire, I believe, has captained England a few times. I'd say is our main centre-back. I'd say Lindelof is Sweden's main centre-back. It was a massive mismatch. Odubeku has not started a Premier League game, has played 3 minutes of football for Man United. What did you expect him to do, David Moyes? Then you sub him off for a midfielder. Take off another midfielder. Souček was knackered. Noble was knackered. You're chasing the game. Bring on an attacking mid for a defensive mid. Yet you're attacking a game without a striker. What message does that send to this young kid?
Yeah, obviously didn't look.
Sorry to go on a bit of a monologue there, but my word, what do you expect?
Well, I think also like you've brought up Haller as well, and like I was obviously quite happy that we got the 20 million odd, presumably for that we're receiving for Haller, but obviously I was happy about it because I thought that we'd be bringing in someone else to replace him, and the fact that in itself is just a massively bad. I'm going to put it down to GSP, but I think Moyes has a little bit of culpability as well, just in terms of
depending on who you believe, it's one or the other or both, and it's probably both.
And either way, it doesn't matter. It's a bad situation if it's one or the other or both, and So I think it's frustrating, and like you say, Dennis, I think what was the point, and what are you trying to do to the kid by doing that, and what message are you sending? And frankly, going forward, why the hell should the kid trust you when he asks you to do a job for him?
Moyes has history with this. Hernandez, he's got history of destroying strikers' confidences, rightly or wrongly, whether they deserve to play or not. As much as we praise David Moyes, we do have to criticise him, and his man management of certain players is very poor.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not one of his trusted players, definitely.
As I said, it's a case of Moyes' boys. He's got a starting 11 that he trusts and a couple of other players, i.e., if Lingard starts tonight, Fornells is probably on the bench. I'd say I'd like to think he has to trust Yarmolenko with the amount he brings him on. So you've got 13 players that are Moyes' boys, and the rest are just, you're on the bench. I might use you as a sub, but as soon as these players are fit again, you're back on the bench. It's not the best message to be sending out, in my opinion. Equally, I am not a fly in the wall of that dressing room, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't affect Odubeku too much. All right, well, thanks for joining us, lads, on the pretty deflating night, but a boring game. Anyway, we've managed to go down 19 minutes, so well played. But cheers, lads. Thanks for those who've watched. Don't forget to subscribe to Garage Football if you're new. Like this video if you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you. Bye for now.